So this is a plough, and these are also ploughs, but they require more horsepower. So these are kind of what your tractors are going to need to look like if you were to be driving with these. You can see some are duplicates, some aren't, some just have a altered wheel. And believe it or not, but this one here is the exact same width as this one here. They're both weighing at 6 meters. This one's just an unrealistic model, as is this big heifer over here. So yeah, that's kind of fun and interesting. I love this one on the larger maps. Right, so today we're going to be showing you the 3 different types of ploughs that you can have. There's this one which has the central hitch, and it makes very good antlers if you have it on the front. But these are really easy to maneuver, you just drive down the field and yeah, it just moves seamlessly with your tractor. And then to turn the corner, you're just going to lift at the end. And then just do a little 3-point turn, or a 12-point turn in my case. There we go. So we've created some medium-sized stones which we can use either a roller, or we can get a stone picker and turn it into lime, which is kind of what I do. I like the idea of self-sufficiency, so to speak. So yeah, that's a ploughing in a nutshell. It does mean that we don't have weeds. Cultivators don't really give us that privilege. And yeah, I just want to show you this. So this one, two lengths give us this. And then we have this, not that one. We have this one over here, and if you were to do it more authentically, we would start by unfolding this. I put twin wheels on this one because this one can be quite heavy and a bit of a bugger to pull, to be honest. Yeah, we're just going to drop that in the soil, and then we're going to begin ploughing. And as you can see, it's a very, very similar width to what we've just done. Might be a little more than 6 meters, I'm not going to lie. And then as we reach the top, I mean, it is a bloody long thing. So we might start ploughing into this person's field. Yep, just as I suspected. So yeah, in order to actually turn your corner, you're going to want to rotate it. And then go back over to the right hand side of what you've just done. And this one takes an age to unfold and, well, flip really. It does take the biscuit. And then let's destroy some of that wheat as well. Oh no, we didn't do it that time. Hunky rooster. Okay. I thought he was going to just like flip out then, but no, he redeemed himself. So let's just bang on that cruise control and get to the bottom. And again, as we can see, medium-sized stone, so it's not just a modded... I was going to say harvest then. Not just a modded plough, that Lizard 6M. It does all the basic functions of a regular plough. But this one, it's not really suited for this field size. So now we're going to move on to the awful John Deere. Hey, get out of the way. See, I told you, he's stupidly large. So this one requires, I think it's around about 320 horsepower. And now these ones I like because they've got the elongated, what's it called, shaft. No jokes intended. And that just means it's a little bit easier to actually maneuver with this thing. And I like ploughing in first person because I can actually line myself up with the field. Like, if I stayed like this, you'd see that the line is looking much straighter. And the second I go out of first person, my line starts going funky again. And again, we have the same thing, medium field stones. So we can either use a roller or pick them. I'll probably roll these because you don't get a lot of lime from them. And look at that, that's significantly larger. And then onto the behemoth. Come on engine, you can do it. Now I'm going to start unfolding here because this takes forever. Hope people lifted it. This takes forever to actually unfold. So now we're going to do some ploughing with this one. I have just purchased another plot of land because I just want to demonstrate something a plough can do as well, which is something I forgot to mention. Now, unless you've got the cultivator who creates fields, then you're not going to be able to make any extra fields unless you buy a plough. This is a little function. If you're using control pad, it's just LB and Y or L1 and triangle. And I can't remember the keyboard function. It's been a while since I used the keyboard. But yeah, so we'll press LB and Y now, and we'll start ploughing through that road and into the next field. So this is good. So if I bought all of this land and I wanted this to be one big large field, this is the method I would use. But if you don't want that side to actually turn into another field, you can deactivate it, and then that way, if you lose concentration or you've had too much to drink, then you're not going to demolish the path ahead. Very, very nice. So over here, as you can see, we have two different types of cultivators. We've got one regular cultivator, and we've got this big blue one, which is the shallow cultivator. And the biggest difference is the amount of horsepower that you're required to use this. So let's go over to this field, because you know we're in the mood to destroy some sunflowers today. Right, let's line up and go forward, and I'll show you the biggest differences. But as you can see, what this is going to do is bubble up the soil and allow it to be prepared for the fielding. The seeding. That's the one. That was the word I was looking for. Don't know what the fuck fielding means. So let's inspect what we've done. So as you can see, we've got some smaller stones in this field. Now, stones are a bit hit and miss. Sometimes they're small, medium, or large. The large ones you have to use a stone picker. The mediums are small, you can actually use a roller and push them back into the soil, but eventually they'll come out as large stones. And now we're going to head over to our larger one. I think this tractor might be a little bit of overkill. Let's use this one. So yeah, this is only a metre wider than the cultivator we've just used, but it requires 250 horsepower. And that one, which is a metre smaller, this one's 6 metres, that one's 5 metres. That one requires about 160, so we've got like a 90 horsepower difference, which is kind of extravagant. But I think these do get the job done a little bit quicker. Oh yes, they do. So now you can see the big difference in the ground texture. And there's no field stones. But we do get a thing called stubble tillage, which is, I don't know, it doesn't actually, I've not heard of any known issues with having stubble tillage. So, I don't know. There could be something there. But which mode is better? I'd say do both. But we all know you're just going to buy that big, dopey looking plough. One that I've just clotheslined 2 tractors with. Because it gets the job done really, really quickly, efficiently. And it's got such a wide working width. The other alternative is the flexi-coil. You can have Springer, and then you can have cultivator, or you can have subsoiler, which works as a plough, and that's a bit wider than the lizard version. So yeah, that's pretty much what we'll be looking at in terms of preparing the field. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish off at least doing one field, and then we'll see you for the next job. Right, now it's time to stone pick. Fantastic, this is something what we wanted to do. So here we have the LO Scorpio, which is the biggest one on the base game. You've got this one, which is the biggest modded version. And then you've got this Scorpio, which is just an enhanced version of that one. Slightly bigger capacitor. But this one's an absolute beast. But let's show you what the Gase Bane... yeah, the Gase Bane version does. Not the base game. So as you can see, we're going to unfold it. It's a bit slow. And I don't think it'll take long for this one to actually fill up, to be honest. I know we're only working with small stones, but this one's got a pretty small capacitor. But yeah, you can see the ground texture changing. You can see the stones being lifted. So that's something that is... I mean, this is the slower way of doing things, especially when the stones are in this state. So yeah, there we go. That's one line done. And I'll just show you the variance in width, because it is quite significant. I did have an even bigger modded version of that stone picker, and I think it had like something ridiculous like a 30 meter working width. It was ginormous. Colossal mods will probably end up producing one that'll do like a 50 meter one. like every other thing that they produced. And so here's a side-by-side comparison, and as you can see, it's significantly larger. I'd say around about double the width, and it's got a little bit more capacity, not double capacity though, because the actual tank itself isn't that much bigger than that base game version. So there's that line. That line's looking pretty good, if I do say so myself. Right, and then inwards we come with this behemoth of a stone picker. I should have allowed myself to have more room than what I've given myself, but it is what it is. Now the good thing about stones is they don't actually have like a detrimental effect on your yield. They just damage your equipment much quicker, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. But when you've got a stone picker like this, you don't really need to worry about picking stones, really, do you? I mean, look at the size of this. This is extremely wide, and it's got a 500,000 litre capacity, so it'll probably hold this entire map's worth of stones every year. But yeah, manoeuvrability is not that good. But if we wanted to remove medium to small size field stones more efficiently, then we can just use this behemoth of a roller. This one's a base game version as well. There are much bigger ones, there's like the mega roller and stuff like that. But they can get a bit glitchy at times, whereas this one, I think it tends to stick to the right balance. In your own time, love. And when I said in your own time, I meant sometime this century. Right, there we go. After we've aged about 12 years, it's finally unfolded. And here we go. Look at this. It's getting rid of every single stone. And it's run at like, I don't know, about 1,200 miles. And then look at the size difference. Comparatively bigger. Not gonna lie, you can use the smaller one, which is over there, which requires a smaller tractor. Consider it rolled. The only issue I have with this roller is, unless you fold it, you can't actually stop it from rolling. So, it's a bugger. Because it means you have to fold and fold if you want to do it accurately and neatly. If not, you can just do what I did and rail. And just fling it around everywhere, I guess. Like so. So the next job is get some nitrogen into the field, and this is done by pumping some lime in there. We've got a new building, hooray! We've got a lime buying station. If you either do solid fertilizer or lime, I've got to put lime in this one. And here we are. So let's go ahead and unfold this, get them spreading discs into it. Now it does say, let's have a look. Does it need lime? No, it doesn't need anything really. But I'm going to do it anyway. Because it is a requirement every 3 years in the base game version. You must unfold the I did. What is this game talking about? Right, there we go. Right, so I might need to fill up a couple of times because, you know, it's very generous, as we can see. But yeah, this is just going to help with your yield bonus at the end. And it's always nice to get an extra yield. Would you say so? I would say so. If we could drive in a straight line, that would be fantastic. So yeah, and with these, if you do sit still, it will still use up all your lime, so turn it off when it's not needed. Otherwise, you're just going to start wasting some valuable goods, and the loss of goods is a loss of money. I don't want that, do I? Right, so that is now done, and I also forgot to mention one thing. If we look at our seedbed, it should give us an option. There we are. So it gives us a seedbed doodah, as we can see over here. The highlighted one is seedbed. So yeah, that's brilliant. I don't know if it actually helps with anything, but it's better than nothing. But yeah, the field's looking nice. So all we've got to do now is plant some wheat. Alright, so since we're seeding, we've got two different types of seeders. We've got this one, which will just seed as per thing. It'll seed as long as the ground's been cultivated, that's what I was supposed to say. And we've got, the only thing I hate about this one is you've got to actually unfold it to put some seeds into it if you want to do it this way. But yeah, so I'll give you an example of what it will and will not seed. So if I go down here, and I attempt to plant this. Nothing interesting happens. We've not planted a single thing. However, I mean, I've destroyed these sunflowers, haven't I? Oh yeah, there we are. We can see some weeds as well. Did I touch upon the weeds with the ploughing thing? Not too sure. But anyway, if you plough, you don't get weeds. If you cultivate, you do get weeds. That's the only difference. But yeah, look at... So it will do it here, and we'll pump in some seeds into the ground. No problem whatsoever. If we go over there with this one, we try and do the same thing. It will just rip through everything and plant some beautiful looking wheat seeds. And the good thing about this, unlike fertilizer, if we stop, the seeding stops. Like, the seeds will not go down until we start driving forward again. This is going to look weird. Like, next year we're going to have a field that's got wheat mixed in with sunflowers. Sunflowers are going to be dead, and then parts of it are going to be weirdly cultivated. So yeah, then we go down here. Now we can see the difference in the ground texture. So the ground texture looks like the one that we're using over there. It's just nice and thick mud, rather than if we drive up here. I could have actually done this as an example. What am I playing at? But yeah, there's the two differences. Yeah, why not just get like a weird balloon-shaped wheat thing? But yeah, anyway, I'm going to go and finish drilling this field, so I'll be with you in a moment. So that field has been successfully planted, well drilled. Get out of the way. And yeah, all we need to do now is start rolling, and then we've got, for some reason, a 100% fertilised state. Huh? I must have a mod that has been doing some hickory pokery jumpery stuff. Right, anyway, we sold our roller. So let's get a new one. Come back here, Dalbo. Fiasco needs you. Not you. I want you. There we go. Right. You've seen me do this before, so you can see me do it again. Because even though we created that field bed state, well, seed bed state, it doesn't mean the job was done. Because now we've got to roll the seeds into the ground to help promote a successful germination. So here we go. Now, I am going to show you the way that I would normally fertilise the field as well, even though it technically doesn't need it. We'll soon find out what happens. It's been a while since I played the base game version, to be honest. Right, so the field has been successfully rolled. You can see the sharpness in the lines and the floor. Yeah, so there's another 2% yield bonus for us. Now, I was looking before, and I thought to myself, why on earth is it not near 100 yet? Like, look at that, we're on 98%. And then it occurred to me, because we started off ploughing, we didn't actually mulch the field, which resulted in that 2% dip. So since I didn't mulch, let's just quickly show you what mulching looks like. So here's a good base game mulcher, quite cheap as well. Here's one that's a bit bigger, requires 200 horsepower. If you're lucky enough to have the Harsh DLC, then you'll want this one, which has a 12.2 meter working width along with a 270 horsepower requirement. Then we've got these little dinky things that look too small for purpose, but that's only because they are used for vineyards and olive groves. So yeah, but we're going to use the Harsh in this instance. Detach. Well then, oh wait, that one's not going to be good enough anyway. In fact, I'll just detach the bloody thing. Right, so I'll show you this one, because we can mulch that dead wheat or barley or whatever it is at the top of the map. Here it is. Come on, we can do it. Right, so here's the mulcher. and what it's going to do is it's just going to turn that, it's just going to crumple that into the ground, and it acts just like a layer to keep the moisture inside the field. Especially, you know, you're in the middle of a heat wave while you're doing it. You can do it with grass as well. But yeah, so this one, it literally just pummels the stuff in over the soil, and it's just used to lock in moisture, as I just said. Detach while folding is not allowed then. Why does it take all the equipment half a fucking century to unfold? Horse, you better not disappoint me, and you better unfold very, very quickly. Right, so we'll go ahead and just mulch that strip. This one's probably one of the bigger mulches, if I do remember rightly. You can get the mega mulcher, which is like 26 meters in width, but it is really, really, really jittery. Like, it doesn't know how to turn corners effectively. It's not good for the bones. Right, come on, let's get mulching. Look at this. That is beautiful. Locking in moisture like you've never locked in moisture before. Will it work on potatoes? Let's do an experiment. This isn't even potatoes, this is soybeans. But obviously it's going to work on soybeans. Right. So yeah, that's mulching. There you go, there's a brief explanation of mulching. And it gives you a 2% bonus. Right, time to skip forward a month. Sad times. It's been rained off. So yeah, today is not going to be a good day. However, we can inspect. So this should have some wheat growing in it, and it doesn't look like it does. Interesting. Nothing growing. Is that our wheat? It's planted a strip of wheat down here. I think that was about the width of it actually, so yeah. At least it's done its job. And then we have this. So while we wait for the rain to pass, why don't you just give this video a quick like and subscribe? Let's go inside. Right, while we're locked away indoors, well, we're not indoors, we're just under shelter. Let's go and get ourselves a fertilizer spreader. Now, I like the Kubota one, so if you got that DLC, it'd be perfect. If not, why don't you join my Discord server, because I give away some DLCs every month. So it'd be fun. You get an XL with 10,000 litres on top of it. And we play with crop destruction on, so yeah, it's going to be a fun time to fertilise. Right, let's let the rain stop. Right, there we go. The rain has actually stopped. But I play with a mod called Rain Paint, which gives you a sense of realism. So it wets the ground. So yeah, it says it is raining, it is gently raining. Which that means it's good to go. So yeah, let's get the fertilizer spreader. Now, we're going to be using this New Holland, but we just need to make one alteration. And instead of wide tyres, we are going to go with narrow tyres. Because what this does is it stops you from destroying the crop as you drive over it. And I'll show you what I mean. So we go over and collect our Kubota spreader. I mean, you can use sprayers as well, but they cost a fortune in terms of liquid fertilizer. So I always go with these, or this one. Not too sure whether this is going to be able to hold 10,000 litres of my goods, as well as stay level, so I might need to get... Oh yeah, this one does lime as well. I forgot to mention that. You know what, he's sticking to his guns, he's looking good. Right, so yeah, normally, as you saw before, we were destroying the crops as we were driving over them, but this time it's different. This time we are keeping the crops looking nice and secure on the floor. Fertilizer spreading doesn't take too long, you've got a pretty big width. So let's get this job done. Right, so we are done now, and I'm liking that little balloon that we've produced. Looks very nice. Right, so yeah, we're at 100%, as we normally would. but normally we'd have to fertilise again during another growth stage. So yeah, you got to bear that in mind. And then there's one last thing to do, and that is the all-important harvest. So normally on a map like this, you'd want something around about this ballpark here. So you need something probably from that one's rubbish, but the top line and maybe the New Holland. That one's a good one. John Deere is good, but it's American. But for the sake of this video, we are going to use a big fat Lexion. We want the big capacitor because, you know, bigger the better. That's the American way. Then we can go to combinations and it will show you what we can use for this. So this is the one that we want to use. And there it is. Beautiful. Right, let's skip forward. And there we have it. Our field is ripened and ready to receive us. So let's jump in that Lexion. Don't forget to unfold them because they do have a hissy fit if you don't. And let's go ahead and harvest. And that is the harvest done with now. And we got quite a lot out of that. I think it was around about 20,000 litres of the stuff. So that's not bad at all. Not bad for a hard year's work. But it's not sustainable really, is it? Terrible. Right, there we are. Oh, sugar. I need to get the engine on. So yeah, I think it's about 21,000 litres we probably would have ended up with. Oh, 20,259. Not too bad. But yep, that's what we have done today. We've had a good time. Like, subscribe. And I'm going to be doing one on precision farming next. So I hope to see you there. Goodbye.